Okay, we should be live any minute now. If you can see me, say something in the chat. All right, hey, I can see me now, so I'm assuming all is good. There may be a little bit of a delay. Um, yeah, we're going to get started. And if you have any trouble hearing me or seeing anything, let me know now while the broadcast is still early. Gothic fucker, hey buddy. Jennifer, hello. Travis, hello. All right, glad to have you guys here. We're going to get started. I'm trying a new setup this time. As you see, this is, I got my, straighten that out there. I got my computer over here so I can read the chats and you guys can see me so I don't have to block the painting as much. And then, of course, I've got the painting in its own frame. So I think this should make for a little more interesting viewing experience. Hi, Indy. Thanks for tuning in. So, if you are new to this, this is a twice a month live stream every other Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I will be here painting for you guys. The show is called Art Autopsy, brought to you here by Clint Carney Creates YouTube channel. Woohoo! And one thing I'd like to do is I'd like to encourage you guys to make art alongside me. Of course, you're welcome to just watch and enjoy this show, but I highly encourage you to get out a canvas of your own or a piece of paper or something to sculpt with and make some art. And if you do decide you want to make some art alongside me, please send me pictures of what you create to clintcarneycreates@gmail.com and I will feature them on an upcoming show. So anyway, I just want to show you guys for those who have been watching, you've already seen these, but for anyone new to the show, this is the painting that I did for the last Art Autopsy. Painted for about 3 hours in that session, and then put another 5 to 7 hours in on it after the live stream, and that's how that turned out. And then this is the one that we did in the very first Art Autopsy live stream. And yeah, there it is. And then this is what we are working on today. Hey, Julie, thanks for joining. So, the blank canvas, and anything is possible except for finding my palette. Here it is. I'm going to start by laying down just a quick green-gray. That, I swear to God, that sound, if you hear it, is the paint coming out of the thing. It's not me making that awful noise. Yeah, using this green-gray, and going to just tone the canvas with this, just to make it a little more tolerable to watch in the live stream if it's got some color on it. So anyone making art at home on today's stream, leave me or say so in the chat so I know. And I'll hold you accountable for it. No, I'm just kidding. But I would love to know if anyone's making art. Even if you hadn't thought of anything, I'm going to be painting for a while, so there's still plenty of time to run out and grab a piece of paper, something to sketch with, something to paint on. Ah, Jennifer is starting a painting now. Excellent. Is this the painting that you told me about, Jennifer? I won't spoil it for anyone else unless you want to say what it is, but I'm guessing it's the one that we had discussed, which I'm looking forward to seeing. How about anyone else? It is excellent. Indy says watercolor and then chainmail as a backup. Excellent. Love that. while I am toning this canvas, because I know this is not the most exciting thing, I just wanted to say a very special thanks to all of my patrons, everyone that supports me on Patreon. Your subscriptions help me, buy paint and canvas and all that fun stuff, and helps me put on this whole YouTube channel thingy. So thank you to Jennifer Goupil, to Travis Carney, to Tango14, to Anthony Ferraro, to Rachel, to Derek Justice, to Sea of Dead Faces, to Violet Gray, and to Jill. Thank you all so much for supporting me on Patreon. And for those tuning in that are just here for the regular YouTube channel stuff, let me just say, I know I owe part 2 on that last Blaster video still. I am working on it. It's just been a little slow going, but that will be coming soon. Gothic. I am currently putting together a dresser, and as soon as that's done, then I'm going to start painting along with you. I'm in the middle of a 3 foot by 4 foot large floral painting. Excellent. Glad to hear it. That sounds awesome. And Julie B is a firm maybe. Do it, Julie. Make some art with me. All right, to prove that the sound is not me. Oh, now it didn't make any sound that time. Of course. So I'm also going to do something a little differently. Well, maybe. I'll put this in the strong maybe category. I usually, or the last couple of these, I was just painting off of the top of my head. But just for fun, I set up a mirror. It's right over here, just next to my, or in back of my canvas. You can probably just catch a little edge of it in the frame. So I may use myself as a model and make goofy faces into the mirror and paint that. At least the mirror is there if I need it, or if I want to do that sort of thing. Inside my home, where I also paint, I have I'm always set up in front of a mirror. It's just great. I can make faces or manipulate my hands in front of the mirror, kind of see what it would look like from another perspective, and it's just a good, fast, easy, free reference to have. So I might do that. Really, I'm just wanting to explain, just in case I do that, you're going to see me make some really weird faces as I look in this direction, and just preemptively telling you why that's happening. Okay. Again, those of you who watch this, you know the drill, but I'm starting in acrylic for this toning, and then the underpainting is going to be acrylic. It just dries fast. On the last painting, I didn't completely, I had a little bit of white showing through at the end, which is what I was trying to avoid with the toning. So I'm just looking at this canvas from a different angle right now so I can see if I missed any spots. The pores of the canvas, you got to make sure you get all the way in there. Okay. Yes, I knew it was you, Violet. I didn't know. I figured I would respect the YouTube nickname if you wanted to go by that, but I did know it was you. I see your comment, Julie. It's not very nice. Okay. I'm just going to throw some black and white on the old palette. This is just a cheapo plastic palette. It's I'm not really picky with what I use for palettes. Sometimes I'll just tear off a piece of cardboard and use that. sometimes a disposable palette like that is better because cleaning cleaning these things when you need to is not always fun. Okay. Just a little random process thing. I usually keep like a rag. I just put it like right across my knee usually. I just find that's a good place to be to clean the brush. And I'm just going to start sketching with this black. So again, I got my mirror right here. I'm going to make some really dumb faces. You can enjoy my faces. I'm so glad I put the camera on me on this one, but I'll make them for you first. I'm going to do something dumb like that. And try to remember that and hold it just to, yeah, get the ball rolling. We'll see what it will become. This, I am the most common model in all of my paintings. Usually, if it's just me, it's not always supposed to look like me, but I use myself as a reference all the time. And I don't know where I was going with that, but dumb fact. Here we go. Yeah, so it's not about getting a likeness on here for me on this. It's just more about having a reference where I can see where the light is falling in relation to the face. So again, not going to not painting it to look like me, just using myself as a reference to get the light. It'll inevitably end up looking a little like me, but not intentionally. Hey, I think in order to make art, you got to be willing to make an ass of yourself every now and again. So making faces on a live stream means I can paint something good, then I'll do it. And I'm going to work this one in a bit, and then we're going to do something crazy. There's a delay on my feed here, so I can turn around just in time to see how stupid it looks me making that face in the camera. Okay. I'm just going to throw a little highlight in here, and then I'll just start working this a little more. Oops. Choo-doo-doo. If anyone has any questions or anything to contribute, please add something to the chat anytime. I won't be making dumb faces through the entire painting, so I will take time to chat with you guys too. Indy says I may not have a cool big orange skeleton in my house, but I do have a big orange safety cone I became emotionally attached to at Lowe's that had to come home with me. Ah, excellent. Yeah, this dude is a little animatronic guy that I built for Halloween last year. Actually, I didn't build it completely. It was a friend of mine, someone that I met locally, had built the skeleton thing, but I did paint it orange and I attached the mask and I built the animatronic portion of it so that and I created the movement and all that stuff. So anyway, long story short about I was pointing at the wrong skeleton. This guy, yeah, actually have two orange skeleton creatures here, but similar process on that guy too. Anyway, one of the cool things, with acrylic when it's, it does dry pretty fast, but you can actually just get your brush real wet and use it to blend it before it's completely set up. So that's kind of a neat little thing about painting with acrylic. But you got to be fast because it does want to dry really fast on you. Ah, Indy says her neighbor down the street has a full yard of Halloween decorations. I approve of that. I definitely have the weirdo house in my neighborhood here on Halloween time. We go all out. Have a lot of fun doing that. For anyone who joins this stream after the start and they just tune in and see me just making weird faces, they're gonna wonder what the hell is going on. But for those people joining late, I have a mirror right there and I am using myself as a reference just to get the general shape, although it's going to rapidly devolve into not necessarily me. Of course, I could always paint slower and get things more accurate, but that's not as fun to watch on a live stream if I'm slow. So trying to keep it entertaining over here. Naman Rudel asks if I ever work with other media like sculptures or statues, and yes, I do all the time. In fact, I have one in arm's reach, so I'm gonna just to answer that question, allow me to just grab this statue right here and show you. So this is like just one example. This is a mask that I had sculpted. It's a little worse for wear because it's been molded already, but there's just one little example of something that I sculpted. Um, but yeah, thanks for asking. I love sculpting, love making masks. It's a lot of fun, and occasionally I get to do a cool project like that for a movie or a TV show. And I'll turn that question back to you, Nauman Rudel. What kind of art do you like to make? And I'll open up that question to anybody who's watching too. What kind of art are you guys into creating? Okay, so this is, let's see, Indy asked if I ever make my own sculpting tools. I do from time to time. I've also bought custom tools off other artists before too. I'll use whatever gets the job done. Um, I'm going to add another face into here that's kind of interacting with this face. It won't make sense, so I'm just going to do it and you'll figure it out. I don't know how to explain it, but if you see my art before, you'll know what I'm doing. Now you can see another angle of me doing stupid faces. All right, now it's starting to get a little interesting. It's a start. Naman Rudel says their art is snark and wordplay. There is great art in snark and wordplay, so that's okay. Food art is also good. Who are some of your favorite painters? Indy asks. Let's see. Um, that's a good question. Obviously, I think, maybe not obviously, there's a wonderful Polish painter, Zdzisław Beksinski, whose name I'm quite sure I cannot properly pronounce, but he is just an amazing surrealist painter. And if you look him up, you'll see just how much influence his work has had, not only on mine, but on countless other artists in the world, especially darker artists. Let's see. Let's start with that. Oh, there's another a modern artist whose work I love, and I'm fortunate enough to call him a friend by the name of Christopher Ulrich, and he is just a true master of his craft. If you don't know his work, you should really check it out because he's just incredible. I mean, feel very privileged that I have lots of talented, cool, artistic friends. But anyway, who are some of your favorite artists? Let's see. And Violet says, I like to create large scale pieces of artwork. It doesn't really make sense practically, but I pretty much make art to give away. Ah, very cool. Yeah, something cool about just doing something in large scale. I love working on a large piece. Maybe one of these upcoming art autopsies, I can do one of those, although that would probably be a multiple stream endeavor, as obviously the larger a painting is, the more time generally it will take me. Art Lady Bluntzer, howdy Clint, how's life treating you? I am doing dandy. How are you doing? And thank you for tuning in. I'm just making weird faces in front of a mirror over here so I can have a little reference for what I'm doing on the canvas. All right, that's a good character-y thing. Start with I'm just going to sit back for a second and think about where I want this piece to go. I don't know. That's enough thinking. I don't know the answer. But I think that I think you should have a hand up, either holding something or pulling something out of one of the mouths. Maybe I'll work out. Yeah, something's going to come out of one of the mouths, I think. Maybe we'll just keep painting. We'll work out what that thing is, and then we'll worry about what the hands are going to be doing, or what the hand will be doing when that comes in. And again, I feel the need to keep explaining this because I know it looks weird. I am looking into a mirror using myself as a reference. Hence the stupid faces. See how self-conscious I am? So, see, I got the pupils headed this way because that's the way I'm looking in the mirror. So my inclination was just to paint it that way. But then it makes it interesting that he's looking off as if something is coming from that direction. So thinking about what the story could be on the painting, perhaps whatever we're going to do down here or with his hands could also be something that is signaling that something else is happening on that side of the painting. Ray Klein, Michael Husser, and Lauren YS are two of my favorites on top of my head. Excellent, excellent. I do love Husser's work. I know the other names, but I can't draw their art to mind off the top of my head. I'll have to do some more research on them after. Let's see. Question. Now you spoke of contemporary artists. Are there any masters that you enjoy? I have to say my favorite master artist is Artemis. Yeah, I am mispronouncing that. Her flesh tones were ignored for almost 100 years. Julie says squirrel in the mouth. Yes, the squirrel in the mouth. Old masters, man. Okay. I am fascinated by Bruegel the Elder, Dutch painter from the I don't know. I want to say 14th century, but I could be wrong on the century. Maybe maybe later, maybe older. Anyway, Bruegel the Elder. Look him up. Bruegel the Younger is his son, of course, but the Elder's paintings. He just does these extremely complex scenes. Some of them quite horrific, especially just considering the context of the age in which they were created. And just modeling my hand a bit. Sure. I'm going to leave it up to you guys to get the chat going too, because I got to look in this mirror so much while I'm working on this painting. It is going to be pretty quiet until I get past this looking in the mirror stage of the composition. Is anybody watching anything cool these days? I just started watching The Studio, which is this new show with Seth Rogen. And then the premise of the show is he's the head of the studio. I won't really get too much into it for those who don't want spoilers, but I am certainly enjoying it. It's a very inside Hollywood kind of look at things, and being someone that works in Hollywood, I enjoy that kind of thing. But it's pretty funny, and just one amazing guest star after another. I'm only two episodes deep, so but I'm liking it so far. Yeah, the hand's jacked up, but we're gonna fix it as we go. I'm still just feeling out shapes here, keeping everything pretty loose while I work it out. Julie B says, been watching Brasic. I haven't heard of that one. Is it good? Should I have heard of it? There's so much good content out there these days. Just it is hard to keep up. The Chosen and Survivor. You can't get any further than that. Nice. Man, so obviously just with the way the line of sight is on this character, there's not whatever they're seeing, we're not going to see. Um, but maybe we'll do something like have them getting spattered with some fluid or or something gnarly happening coming from that side. Maybe it's a blood spray, or maybe it's just like a blast of light, so implying that maybe there's some kind of fire or other light source on that side. I don't know. We'll see. Something to think about as we plow ahead on this painting. Yeah, and I think I'm just going to keep the background pretty simple for now. I'm just going to black it out. We'll worry about throwing little bits of detail in there later on, but just to make the character pop a bit and give me a little better idea of how the composition's looking. For those of you who are joining the stream more recently, this show is called Art Autopsy, and this is just a live painting event that I do every other Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. And I encourage anybody watching at home to get your art supplies together and make some art alongside me. Gives you a good excuse to make art, and it's always good to have another excuse to make art, right? Plus, if you continue to follow the show and you come back week after week and you make art every time, pretty soon you're going to have a whole art show's worth of material on your hands. You're going to have so much art you won't know what to do with it. And if you're new to art or never tried painting or drawing or anything, whatever medium you're interested in, now's a good time to try it out. There's no time like the present. You might uncover a hidden talent. And if you don't, that's okay, because all you gotta do is do it. Uh, Anything that you do every day, you are going to get pretty good at eventually. So, um, yeah. One thing I love about doing this live stream is it gives me an excuse to always stay on top of painting, because I got so much going on that even I find it hard to paint as often as I would like. Um, so this gives me an excuse to paint for 2 or 3 hours every other Thursday, and then I always want to make sure that I finish the paintings before the next live stream, so it keeps me painting throughout the week. Although I always have other paintings happening at the same time I'm doing the art autopsy paintings too. I don't generally don't have just one going on at a time, but let's see. Almost done with season 2 of The White Lotus, and I still don't know if I like it. I haven't watched the new season yet. I did enjoy. I guess the one that's airing now is season 3, I think, right? So, because I thought I saw 2 seasons of it, but maybe I'm wrong. But I have enjoyed what I have seen, and I'm looking forward to the new one, but I have not jumped into it yet. Let's see, Julie says, Brassic is a British character-driven comedy about funny, low-level criminals. Ah, excellent. That sounds like something I would enjoy. Oh, you know what I also started was there's a new show on Max called Mobland. It's a Guy Ritchie directed series. He's the guy that made Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels and Snatch, among many other a cool film. The Gentleman, more recently. But yeah, he's got a new show called Mobland. It's got Tom Hardy in it, Pierce Brosnan. Pretty darn good thus far. Well worth a watch. I think they've got 2 episodes out so far only, but it's airing now. Maybe chunks of brain matter. Oh, I see. For flying there. Yeah, could be. Could be. You never know. You never know what I'm going to end up doing. I never know. I just mostly make it up as I go along. Now that being said, there are plenty of paintings in my catalog that I am meticulous about planning, so I don't always just shoot from the hip when I'm painting. By the way, I have some paintings that are, yeah, very, very meticulously thought out, but I don't think that kind of painting is as fun to watch come together live. because just the discovering what the image will be, there's a lot of fun in that. So. Alan Rudel says the paintings reminded them of the scene from Inner Space where Martin Short changes his face. Yes. That's funny. I can see that. All right, we got 15 people watching, 16 new people watching all the time. So entertain me, guys. Tell me a story. Of course, if you're painting, I don't want to interrupt your art making. But for those who are just sitting there watching, not making art yet, um, tell us a story. One of my more popular paintings is called a piece called "Becoming You." Uh, Man, that painting is ooh, 20 years old now, maybe not, maybe 15 years old now or more. Um, but that painting was done pretty much with this exact same technique. Just sitting in front of a mirror and painting it, and then it's funny. You never know when you're creating a piece of art what is going to happen to that art after it goes out into the universe. And that particular painting ended up on T-shirts, album covers. It was in movies and other music videos for other bands, and kind of had a cool little run for a while. But yeah, as I was sitting there in front of a mirror painting it, I had no idea that it would be something that was going to resonate with other people. I guess you never really know. And this whole business happening with the faces overlapped. Um, it's always it's kind of a hybrid in between a mutation and or just a simple camera double exposure. It always ends up kind of somewhere in between. Like some parts look more like this is a human with two faces, and other parts look like end up looking like there's some kind of double exposure effect. Yeah, I don't know. I generally don't try to steer it one way or another at this stage. I just kind of keep working it and see what it wants to become. So if you enjoy these live streams or the YouTube channel or any of the creative output that I do, and you for some reason want to see more of my face, you can, and you'd like to support my work, up at the top there's a link to my Patreon. You can also join the Patreon at no charge, and there are paid tiers, and that gets more stuff. But you can also join at the free tier, and you'd still get periodic updates and things like that. But in the paid tiers, I do you know art and print giveaways and all kinds of fun stuff. What else? Weekly updates, at least once a week, sometimes more. I just get in there and give everyone an update on what is going on in my world, be it art that I'm working on, music, films, all kinds of the whole gamut of fun stuff that I do. I'll talk about all of that over on my Patreon. So I'm happy to have this outlet here, YouTube, and just have people coming in and tuning into this, and having the Patreon, because yeah, I don't know, it's a cool way to connect with people and to give myself an excuse to paint. Plus, the future of the movie industry, which has historically been my bread and butter, is uncertain. So it's always good to have another little project going on, and I'm hopeful that I can turn this channel into something more that would support my ability to make more content for you fine folks. But either way, I have fun doing it, and I hope you guys enjoy watching. Well, otherwise you probably wouldn't be watching. It is to be hoped. Okay. Indy says, I want to start a sketchbook club to encourage people to do art, to show that you don't have to be good at something to do it. I think that's what holds so many people back. I think that is an excellent idea, and everyone has to start somewhere. And I mean, that's what's cool, I think, about the live stream format. My hope is that I can get this to be something that encourages more people to make art, and making art from home, gives you the freedom to never show it to anybody if you're not proud of what you've done. But the only way to get good at anything is just to keep I want to just call out another modern artist who, when I'm working on a piece that's going to a gallery, and I want to make sure it just has that extra polish to it, I I love looking at the art of people who are better than me, and just kind of, not that I'm trying to paint like them, but I just look at it and go, okay, how does this stack up against so and so, and that just helps me try to make my art better, strive to learn from other people. And one of those modern artists whose work I always reference because he's just so fantastic at light and skin tone and everything is an artist named Daniel Horn. Look him up, Daniel Horn, Horne, and he is just a phenomenal painter and mostly tends to paint stuff in the horror world. He released a painting DVD a while back, which I bought from his website, and it was incredible, of course. But yeah, anyway, I love finding new artists, and not, I mean, I've been a fan of his for many years, but I love finding artists, and I love having artists out there that make me feel like I don't know how to paint because it gives me something to strive to improve. That's the thing with art or any form of art really is you can never be the best. There's no such thing, but there are always new skills that you can pick up, new tricks, along the way. But there, you will never reach maximum density of knowledge and, and know-how. Um, so there's always something new you can do. And if you get stuck in a rut, well, then just paint something new. Oh, glad you looked him up. Yeah, he's an amazing artist. Bob Eggleton did novels for Necroscope. Oh, is that the Brian Lumley novel? That he did those with the skulls and the vampire skulls? Am I thinking of the right guy? Because if so, that dude's art is dope. But I didn't know his name. Okay, I might. I'm gonna jump into oil a little sooner than normal on this channel. Uh-oh, did the did the stream freeze? It looks like at least one of my streams is frozen. Um, hmm. One moment. Let me see what's happening. Check, 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 check. Hold on. Yeah, it looks like it might be frozen. Okay. I'm just gonna refresh my YouTube. Hopefully, I mean, this shouldn't disconnect me. Hey there. Okay, it just froze for me. All right, glad that's working. Anyway, what I was gonna say, I'm actually good with this as like the drawing in acrylic. I'm going to go ahead and move on over to oil just to get things moving along. I'm going to use my incredibly dirty palette because I was too lazy to clean it off before the show. So I'm just going to slather paint on top of more paint. And I'm going to start out with my trusty old Michael Harding paint, Transparent Oxide Red, which I believe I have gushed over before. Makes its way into almost every painting. So I'm going to start with that. We're going to squeeze out some titanium white as well. And then this is Liquin. This is my medium of choice. And this just helps thin out the oil paints so you can get nice translucent glazes, as well as it helps accelerate dry time, which I like. Oh yeah, apparently it wasn't frozen for anyone else, just for me. Okay, so I'm going to take the some of this liquid and mix it in with a little bit of this transparent oxide red. And there's a delay on here, so I can't tell if you guys can see my thing or not. Okay. And then I'll just start layering it in. Now, when I say it, the liquid makes it dry faster, it still is going to dry overnight. It's not going to dry while we're here streaming. So I have plenty of working time with it, right? Because I'm not just, this color is not the final color that's going in over his skin. This is just one layer, but I'm starting with this as a base, and then I'll start blending in other pigments on top of it. You'll see what happens just when we add white over this. Kind of magically turns into a nice kind of creamy skin tone. I'm going to switch over to a bigger brush because I'm just gonna get this tone all across here, and this is going to take forever if I use that brush, and your time is valuable. So we're going to use a bigger brush, cover more ground. Oop, that's too much pigment, so I'll just throw some liquid in there to help spread it around. Still too much pigment. I'm just throwing liquid on top of it, just dragging that paint around. As you can see, I am not the world's neatest painter, although certainly the painting will come to a point where we're getting into more fine refinement, but this is not that stage. I am going to be sloppy, and ultimately everything I did in acrylic is getting covered. Anyway, but you can see a little bit already, although obviously this is still in very rough stages. But see what happens when we laid down the gray at first, and then we went in with some black just to add some shadows, and then we went in with some white to add some highlights and created a little bit of a gradient in there. And then once we just washed a little bit of color over the top, suddenly all of those choices we made about the light and the shadow now are there underneath, supporting what we're doing with the color. Kind of, you know, quite magically. This is just the way that, one of the ways that I like to paint. It doesn't mean it's the right way, whatever that is, or certainly not the only way. A lot of artists just like going in, starting with color right away, and laying it down, and I will do that from time to time, but I kind of have really embraced this method they call glazing, which is just the layering thin color on top of, on top of the other layers. You can also glaze with acrylic. You're just using water instead of a medium, but it dries. If you're gonna glaze an acrylic or a tempera or one of those mediums, they dry so fast that you have to be fast to not get annoyed with yourself if the paint dries before you do what you got to do. If I were going to do this entire thing in acrylic, uh, the glazing side of it, I would only do a section at a time, because if I were to lay down a color, a solid color like this in acrylic over the whole thing, it's going to dry before before I'm able to start blending into it. But obviously not the case with oils. Okay, so we've got our transparent oxide red roughly covering all of his skin, just about. Now, watch what happens when we start adding in some white into this. It's going to start blending in pretty neat. I'm going to change brushes for this next part, because I tend to abuse brushes a bit when I get into blending, and this one's in decent shape, so I'm going to go for one I've already chewed up a bit. Yeah. And for those who are tuning into the broadcast late, this particular painting, I have a mirror set up behind the easel, so I'm just kind of pulling faces into the mirror as a rough reference. Not supposed to be me, although it's going to have inevitably some kind of likeness, because I'm using myself as a reference, but I'm not necessarily intentionally trying to make it look like me. But that is just my way of explaining, when you see me make dumb faces, I am looking in the mirror to make those faces. And the main purpose of that, other than now that we're past the drawing phase and just getting into the painting, is I'm just confirming the light source, how the light is falling upon my bulb dome, and using that to transfer into the painting. And this one gets a little tricky too, because it's this kind of double exposure effect. So not only do I have the light coming on my head from the one angle, but when I move my head for the other face, it changes that angle. And so I'm having to make judgment calls as I go about which angle I'm stealing what light source from, because we have two different angles in the painting. And the ear is going to be like, it's going to be a weird kind of like double ear thing happening here as well. So be like the front ear and then this other ear coming out and back over here, I think. Because why not? Everyone could use another ear, right? Every now and again. And because we laid down that uh, transparent oxide red with the liquid blended in, the titanium white just kind of blends right in there on top of it. And this is only one layer. We're certainly going to get to a stage this evening where the canvas is so saturated with paint that we can't go on, otherwise it's getting muddy. Oops, hey. Um, and So we won't be able to finish it completely in one sitting, but we're going to make some good progress tonight and see how far we can take it. And I'm going to just squeeze out a little bit of olive green on the old palette. Which I find can be an interesting shadow color. Certainly cooler than the warmth of the red. And as we go, it's just, it's with every layer, you refine the details a little more and more, and then the last step of the painting is always kind of those fine details. Right now we're still working in big broad strokes, but eventually we'll get down to some cool detail. Let's see, I got a few questions coming in since last I looked at the chat. Let's see what we got here. Question going back to the first art autopsy, did you end up finishing the entire painting with just the one brush? Almost. I did go in with, I used two other brushes to get more of the detail in on it, but I would say like 90% of the painting was probably just the one brush. Let's see. Indy says, I mainly work with watercolor, so after I clean my brush, I use my mouth to shape it before putting it back. Once I accidentally did it to a brush after cleaning it with Gamsol, and it was awful. 10 out of 10, do not recommend putting Gamsol in your mouth. Yeah, I have stuck a chemically oil painty paintbrush in my mouth more times than I can count. So don't worry, you're not alone. Create Sci-Fi says, looking good. Thanks, Anthony. Thanks for joining, man. If you guys don't know, the Create Sci-Fi channel, Anthony Ferraro, he makes dope sci-fi props and wardrobes, and makes his own short films too with the stuff that he builds on his channel. So it is certainly an awesome channel to subscribe to. Every once in a while, I'll make a little guest appearance on his channel, as he does on mine from time to time. And again, for anyone just joining, I've got a mirror behind the easel over here, which is why I'm looking that direction, making dumb faces. So I'm just using it as a light reference. Of course, not going for likeness. This face is going to end up being contorted in some pretty fun ways as we go, even more so than it already is. So I am not going to get hung up on trying to make it look like me. Just stealing the reference from the mirror for the light and the shadow. So we've got this mouth coming down here, and they kind of intersect. Um, and I'm kind of feeling having them like some kind of a, not anatomically correct, but some kind of a tendon coming down inside their mouths. I'm just doing it brighter than it will be just to illustrate what I'm talking about here, but that they both kind of share, and this is happening, yeah, just thinking about what could be happening inside there to help sell this connection. It's going to go inside his mouth, like behind his lower teeth, and then come out and go here and connect into the lower lip of that one's mouth. I think it's real easy to get bummed out nowadays about creating art when anybody can do it using, a lot of the new technologies, and they can do it quite easily, and the AI is able to replicate art at a masterful scale, certainly faster than I can. But then when I get back and I start painting again, I'm reminded of why I do it. It's the joy of creating the thing. So yeah, it's true. A robot may be able to do something pretty similar. But does the robot get joy out of doing it? I don't think so. Do I get joy out of doing it? Yes. So that is why I continue to paint in spite of our new robot overlords. And I will probably also give him an extra row of teeth. So that's his bottom teeth for this face right here, but I'm going to give him another row roughly in there, and that'll be his gums. And I want to see that there, and maybe I'll do another row of the top teeth as well. And I think there's an interesting opportunity to interweave something through these mouths and maybe come out of something on that side of his face. I don't know. Who knows? We'll see. We'll find out. We'll find out together. Nauman Rudel says until AI begins to pull from AI for reference, then it becomes inbred art. I suppose, but then in a way it just does the exact same thing that human artists do, right? We're all limited by our own imagination, which is generally born out of things that we have seen in our lifetime. So, we get inspired by other things out there. AI is pretty much doing the same thing. It just has a wider and more accurate reference. But I don't know that I have fully seen an AI painting that has moved me on an emotional level yet, or maybe I have and didn't know it was AI. I'm not saying that it won't one day do that. I just don't think it's there yet. But even still, even if it gets there, it's not going to make me stop painting. I'm not going to let it take away my fun. And neither should you. It's like Stephen King was saying this in, I don't know if it was an interview or maybe it was in his book on writing. Um, he was just talking about how people always complain when a movie comes out and they say, oh, the book is better. It's like, yeah, but you still have the book. The book still exists. You can always go and reread it. Even if the movie's bad, it doesn't make the book any worse. So it's like, yeah, if you're not into AI, that's totally fine, man, because you still have painting. It still exists. You can still do it. You can still make movies the old-fashioned way. You can still write. You can still do your homework manually. So all of these options are still there for you. Although I will say it does does kill it on the job front though. Not getting nearly as many illustration gigs as I used to for the old film and television industry. Mostly just doing VFX these days, but that is also in danger. Let's see. The one thing I have in common with AI art is that we both can't draw hands. Oh, that's funny. Though, it's funny you say that though, but I mean, that's like, yeah, for humans, that is, it's a lot of people have struggle with that, and it's funny that AI did as well. But I'll say that that is one thing that AI has vastly improved on now. I think it can actually do pretty good hands these days, depending on what you're seeing with it. Let's see. Violet says, the irony about AI is that I'm always pushing it to question its creators, and they don't allow for that. So how could AI enjoy making art? Yeah, I like having interesting discussions with ChatGPT. I'll tell you though, man, it has definitely replaced doing a Google search for me. Although, like it or not, I should say, and I'm not anti-AI, believe it or not. It is it is taking money from me, but I there is no stopping the future, and that's just what's coming next. So I think it's hopeful for us to learn it, at least, just to keep our heads above water at some point. But there are, yeah, again, just using it for research, things like that. ChatGPT, pretty awesome. Till it eats us all. Julie says, I'm going to try drawing, so I will be watching on my TV. Oh, awesome, Julie. Love it. Again, anybody who's making art at home during this stream, if you feel like it, or if you would like your art showcased, email me a picture of what you create during the stream to clintcarneycreates@gmail.com. Or even if maybe you don't finish it tonight, but you start it during the stream or you work on it at some point during the stream and you finish it later on, yeah, send it over to me when you're done with it, when you're ready to showcase it, and I will feature it on an upcoming stream. As long as I never tell where John Connor is, nope, I'm ratting him out. Just kidding, of course. And I will say too, I think in the realm of filmmaking, I don't know how I got off on the AI tangent, but there are some really interesting tools in it, and tools that, so like as a guy that does visual effects for films, such as myself, there are some tools that have come out that are technically AI, but they make your job just faster, and time is money in the business. Like if you've ever tried to, if you know what rotoscoping is a process where frame by frame you are meticulously cutting things out of the frame. It could be actors, it could be their hair flailing, it could be uh, any number of things, but going frame by frame to cut things out. You have to do it in the visual effects world all of the time, but there are newer technologies, in fact the ones built into After Effects and other things, and they're using these large language models to help speed up the rotoscoping process, and that's amazing. So is it the same kind of AI? I think technically, yes. Does it make the work better? Yeah, and faster? Yes. Um, so, you know, that's just one example of how it's leaking into my world. But I also try to keep up with all the latest technology stuff. That's the only kind of news I can stomach these days, is the tech news. And there's some really interesting stuff happening on the in the world of text to video or image to video. It's still, in its infancy there, but I do see it as a way where future filmmaker future filmmakers who otherwise wouldn't have access to raise the money to make a film, we're going to hear their voices too in the film world because of it. So there's some positive to be had there too. As someone who has made movies before, and had to, basically finance or get the funding to finance a feature film of my own, I did with my friend director Kelton Jones. It was not an easy process, and the film industry is so uncertain when you're in independent cinema, at least, as to whether or not it will ever make money back. So I look at some of these tools, and they're not there yet, but I don't know. I think it might be an opportunity to help make help me afford making other films at some point in time. Again, not completely in it, but as a tool. And that is an extremely unpopular opinion amongst people in the movie world or the art world. But I don't know. Simultaneously fascinated and terrified by the prospects. Violet says Reddit has replaced Google. Um, man, Reddit is weird. It's like it's one of those things where it makes me feel old because I don't understand it. I mean, not that I'm a spring chicken, but yeah, I just never quite caught on with the format of Reddit. Same with Twitter, for that matter. Like I have a Twitter account that I'll occasionally, post spam on, but I don't quite understand. I never took the time to learn it, even the simplest things on it. But that's all right. I don't feel it's a big loss. But I guess I do worry. To maybe the last point on the AI thing, the thing that does worry me about it is that there may be artists out there with these hidden talents that they just haven't explored yet who will not explore them because they think the skill set is obsolete now in the world of AI. And the fact that we might never get to see the art they would create because they're discouraged by it, I think is a tragedy. But just doing my part to encourage you guys. Make art anyway. Oh, you got the Indy says they got the soundtrack on vinyl. Thank you for Dry Blood. That was the film I was talking about before. Dry Blood. In fact, let's see. Oh yeah, you can see it. The skull poster there, and then the poster with. Well, you can't really see the whole poster on the other one, but those are both Dry Blood. The skull poster was the original poster for the film that we did when we took it around to film festivals and so forth. That was designed by Sam Fonkuka. He did that poster. I photographed the skull, and then he took my photograph and turned it into that awesomeness. And then a talented gentleman by the name of Johnny Tabor did the other poster, and that was once it got into distribution. So that came out from an Epic Pictures subsidiary called Dread, which is part of the Dread Central family of thingies, companies. Oh man, you want to know a tragedy? I I ended up. I think I showed you in the first art autopsy. My crimson got was just in bad shape. It was all leaking. I eventually just threw it out, and then I went to go buy a new tube of crimson um, to use, and I realized before the stream started that I accidentally bought another tube of cadmium red instead of alizarin crimson, so I don't have any crimson to use, which is exactly what this painting needs. So I'm going to have to save all of the that side of things till for another day. And I use crimson all the time, obviously. As you would imagine, a fantastic blood color, but also you can blend it with other colors and get some really interesting things happening in the skin tones and stuff. So I'm just lamenting not having access to crimson right now. That's all. Although maybe I can just cheat it and use some CAD red anyway. Maybe it'll be a happy, not an accident because I'm premeditating it, but maybe it'll work out anyway, even though it's a limitation, you know. Just reading the comments. Indy will die if they don't make people laugh. Da, da, da. You guys are cracking me up. All right, let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna just get some cadmium red. In fact, I already got a little bit on the palette already from another painting, and it is still wet, so I'm just gonna use that. See how we feel about this. Start out by introducing a little bloodshot into the eyes. And pulling a little bit into some of these shadows, making it feel selectively like there's some blood pooling under the surface, you know. There's a lot of different colors going on skin. It can be quite complex. And we'll certainly be adding more in as this painting progresses. For anybody who's watching who likes my music, and to explain for those that don't know, I make music. I'm in a band called System Sin, and tomorrow night the band and I are actually getting together for the first of what will undoubtedly be many rehearsals. We're putting together a collection of acoustic versions of some System Sin songs, and yeah, so we're getting together tonight to start jamming on those, and I am looking forward to that, seeing how that comes together. Just had to step back from the painting for a second. I I realized that so the painting is tilted kind of up to be facing the camera, so I'm looking at it from a different, not straight on. So I just wanted to double check and make sure that I wasn't getting too crazy with with the warpage that will come from painting on a tilted canvas. It's like, I don't know if you ever draw with a piece of paper with your paper on the table in front of you, and then you lift up the paper and then you realize that whole time, because you were drawing from a certain perspective, that your painting is, or your drawing is actually skewed. So sometimes you just got to, when you're painting or drawing, you just got to take a step back and look at it from a different angle and just make sure you're on the right track. Of course, with this kind of a abstract subject, kind of free to go off the rails as much as I want. It won't affect it too much because it's not, a reality-based image. It's too heavy with the titanium white there, but that's all right. Nothing you can't fix. Oh, I haven't mentioned it in this live stream yet, but for those of you who are in the greater Los Angeles area, April 19th, which is not this coming Saturday, but the Saturday after that, I am going to have a table at a convention in North Hollywood called the Hyena Horror Market. It's going to be super fun. There's going to be a lot of cool other vendors and some special guests there. I hear tell that Bill Moseley is going to be one of the special guests, which I'm very excited about. If you don't know Bill Moseley, he's a rad actor, does a lot of horror stuff. Look him up. You'll probably recognize him once you look him up. But yeah, anyway, Hyena Horror Market at the Mayflower Club on April 19th. And did I mention it is a 100% free event? So not a lot of free stuff going on these days, and this is one of them, and it's free and cool. And I will be there, so I hope some of you can make it out. I don't know where everyone's located, but if you can, please stop by my booth and introduce yourself and say hi. I'll have probably going to bring some of these paintings from Autopsy there, as well as other artwork. I'm going to have some masks that I made on display. I'll have music stuff, movie stuff, all kinds of stuff. So hope it'll be a good turnout. And now, just thinking about how we can add some additional skin shapes. Just making it weird here. you can never have too many just open holes on your face. So that's my motto, at least. So we're just adding some interesting things happening onto this character. But when I'm adding like little weird detail like that, I'm also trying to keep in mind the shape of the design and how that would actually look if it were going over his face. And thinking about what kind of highlights that would raise, what part of that is going to then catch the light, throw off a little highlight. And I don't know if you can tell from the stream, but all of this paint is just, because it's oil, it takes a long time to dry. It's just very wet right now. So it wants to blend, makes it easy to blend. But it also makes it super easy to mess up. So sometimes you just got to go back and rework things you've already done if you mess them up. Yeah, that's part of it. Part of the fun. Learning how to minimize those mess ups or use them to your advantage. That is an awful lot of titanium white that I did not intend, and now I go on the journey of restoring this cheek after just talking about minimizing mess ups. No big deal though. Oh, Indy asks, serious question, since you make music, do you also make up silly songs to sing to your pets? And the answer is, of course I do. Yeah, now I have two cats at the moment, William and Sally, and they both get sung to on a daily basis. Naman Rudel says, my favorite Sin song is Absence. I'd love to hear that as an acoustic. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'll be curious. I made like a list for the band of like songs that I thought would be possible contenders. I asked my patrons on Patreon for some of their feedback on that, and then of course the band has their own feedback, and part of what we're doing in these initial jam sessions is just working that out and testing out different songs and seeing what's going to work. Not every song translates well to acoustic, but my friends in the band are such talented musicians. I have nothing but complete trust in their ability to do something awesome. Okay, all right. Painting is doing something. It's It's not uninteresting, so that's a start. God, man, I keep getting super heavy-handed with this titanium white. I'm just getting too cocky in my old age here, just going too hard with the paint. Yeah, I'm going to cut into this cheek here in a strange way. Um, just because I want to. In fact, I'm going to just squeeze out a little black onto the old palette just to paint out some of this cheek here. It's always handy to have a pair of these around when you're painting, because sometimes these things don't want to open. Okay. So this will start to make sense in a second. I'm just making a bold move here. And I'll work out the details of this later, but I just wanted to get this in here. It just occurred to me to do that, and just wanted to cut out that part of the cheek while I was thinking of it. Okay. Rule is signing off. Hey, thanks for watching. I appreciate you tuning in to the stream. Have a good night. Let's see. Indy says, making up silly goose songs for your pets is one of the best things in life. Once a roll of paper towel was finished, I would put it on my pup's leg and we would all go crazy like it was a ritual. I call it the peg legging. That's pretty good. I don't think my cats would tolerate a peg legging, although they are pretty tolerant critters. maybe this, see, I was just doing it initially as like a opening from the side of the cheek, but that's kind of then feeling like that's an eye and that's a mouth there. So maybe we want to play that up a bit. Yeah, why not? Let's explore it. We don't have to keep it. Can always paint over it if it sucks. But let's see if we came in with that and maybe just a little nose there. Yeah, that's kind of fun. Why not? If I decide I don't like it later, I can always paint it out. But for now, yeah, there's just a little another weird face living there. I like that. And you can see, below this, haven't really started touching it with detail yet, so you can see less finish, more finished, but even still, it's going to need, I would say we'll probably end up doing 2 or 3 more sessions on it after tonight too, just to keep adding more and more detail as we go. And for those joining our stream later, if you weren't here from the beginning, this is a live stream that I do every other Thursday, 7 p.m. And I encourage anybody watching to get their art supplies and make art from home alongside me as I do it here in the stream. And if you want to get more updates from me as to, weekly updates as to what I'm doing in the creative space in the world of art, music, and film, my Patreon is up at the top. And there are free tiers as well as paid tiers. So yeah, sign up if you're into that sort of thing. And if you're not, that's okay too. I will forgive you. Yeah, I want to do something with the nose here. Make it a little more grotesque. Because it's not grotesque enough. And if you are, again, just a reminder, I know I'm repeating myself for those who have been here from the beginning, but if you are making art tonight and you would like to share your art with me so I can check it out, email it to me at clintcarneycreates@gmail.com. Anything that you're working on just specifically over the course of the broadcast, and I will share some viewer art in upcoming live streams if you want your art shared. Yeah, this nose feels like it needs to have a little split in it. No, I don't like that. I don't like that. Let's smudge it back out. The nose can remain intact. It's just going to be more pig-like than it already is. Or more weird creature-like. Man, I am just continually going too heavy with this titanium white. This whole painting. And I just want to say also thanks to everyone who is watching, and also just thanks to anyone who is participating in the chat too, because in order to do these things and not have my video, the live stream video, removed after the fact for copyright reasons, I can't stream music in the background or play a movie in the background, etc. So I am just here pretty much talking to myself. So when you guys participate in the chat, that's fun for me too, because then I get to gives me an excuse to talk to someone else other than just myself as I paint here in silence. God, man, I keep putting on too much titanium white. I don't know what is going on tonight. That's right. Something more interesting has to happen with this head. I mean, he might end up with hair or something else. I'm not going to worry about that tonight, but I don't think I'm going to leave it just a bald head. We'll see. Next time you see this painting after tonight, we'll find out. Thank you, Andy. Doing your part. You're doing good work. See what time it is. 9 o'clock already. Wow, time flies when you're having fun. We've been painting for 2 hours straight so far. Doesn't feel like it though, to me. I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel about it. That's one of the best things about doing art, man. Is the time just slips away. But at the end of it, you've got something to show for your time. Gotta get more olive green. And eventually I'm going to have to figure out what I want to do with the background of this piece. There's something to be said for keeping it simple, but sometimes I get carried away. We'll see. Don't have to figure that out tonight. And although I would have preferred to use alizarin crimson, the since I'm out, the CAD red is actually doing okay. Can't complain. It's holding its own. And he says, when I whittle, I lose all sense of time. I just suddenly come to, and I'm covered in wood shavings like a hamster. Yeah, I can imagine. Oh, and by the way, and this is something I do with each stream too, is I do, even though, so like the last painting from the last stream, it was roughly 3 hours of painting during that stream, and then I put another lot of hours in after, but I filmed the whole thing, so I will be putting out another video soon, which just shows the entire painting process sped up significantly so that you don't have to watch countless hours of footage. But if you are interested in seeing how the entire painting came together, I have like probably a 15 or 20-minute version of that coming out soon. I just have to record a voiceover to it, and then I can release it. See this lip right here? This is feeling too... what's the word? Not dramatic. It just has a lack of drama to it. It's not interesting. So we're gonna figure out what it needs to do to make it look like something that I would want to look at. Probably not the right way to say that, but you get it. There we go. That's more interesting to me, maybe not to anyone else, but that's okay because it's my painting. Okay. All right, someone entertain me. Tell me a story while I paint so that I don't fall asleep accidentally. Let's see. Indy says, once upon a time, I kept making pairs of chainmail earrings for my sister, and she lost every single one of them, and now she's on her fifth pair. Well, it's very nice of you to keep making them for her. I think I would have lost patience for doing that after she lost the third pair, let's say. But good for you for sticking with it. I will assume by the silence in the chat that everyone is just deep in the throes of creating their own artwork, right? That is my hope for y'all, that you're getting something out of it and making some art. Zach Ward has joined. Hey, Zach, thanks for joining, man. Jennifer says, I made the perhaps bad decision to set this scene in snow. Oh, I see. For your painting, yeah, it can be a tricky thing to paint in snow for sure. Art Lady Bluntzer says, once upon a time, like noon, and many, many moons ago, probably 6 years or so, there was a mean kid, a sweet little boy, according to his mama, who had trouble with math. Don't we all? Oh, I'm getting a full story now. Let's see. The main problem, A plus B equals C. Add any number. The answer, the purple cows don't jump over the moon. The end. Fantastic. Thank you for the story. uh, Indy has made her a giant birthday party frog sculpture, and she picked it up a few weeks ago, and I'm 99% sure it's still in her car. Oh, well, that sounds amazing. A giant birthday party frog. Can't go wrong with that. Well, let's hope that she appreciates it. Okay. How are you guys feeling about this painting so far? Any thoughts? Zach says, first time catching you live. Love the work. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate you tuning in to watch. Art Lady says, not sure why the hand is giving me so much trouble. Am I looking at it wrong? No, it is in terrible shape right now. You are not looking at it wrong. It will it will require some retooling on my part. So yeah, I mean it is an odd angle, but I left some of it falling off into the shadow there. So as the painting progresses, the hand will come together in a more somewhat believable way. Thank you for the notes, though. And just getting in the first row of teeth. Can never have too many teeth. Let's see. No, it's not your eyes. It's just a bad rendering of a hand thus far. um, okay, Indy says they have an actual story, a good one. Let's hear it. I wish there was an audio component to this whole live stream thing from your guys, so I could just so I wouldn't have to read it all. I could just let you guys talk, but sadly, I must narrate. these teeth are going to end up not being so bright and pearly white, but not in this session. This session they're going to stay that way. The camera, or the canvas, is getting a bit too saturated to yellow them out just yet. Oh, thank you, Art Lady Blunter. I'm glad you enjoy the separation on the cheek. Let's see. Indy says, a couple years ago, I was at a car dealership helping my sister buy her first car. The salesperson helping us was like, "Oh, hey, I recognize your last name. Do you know so-and-so? Your last name?" All right, well, I'll wait till the entire story is there, and then I'll read through. I need to WD-40 my chair. It is squeaking left and right. Oh no. Sorry to hear that. Oh, that's cool. Sounds like a cool exercise for students. It's a pretty fun little exercise doing this multiple portrait thing. And Art Lady Blunter, where were you art professor at? Indy, sorry about that. Sounds sad. Sorry you had to do that. Oh, just read the end part of your story. Not your dad. Oh, sounds like you gave that poor guy a scare. Oh, that's cool. Sounds like you, looks like you taught quite a few schools. Very cool. I'm just going to step back from a second, just look at the painting from a few feet back. Okay, yeah, gonna need a lot more work than I thought it did looking at it up close. That's one of the best reasons to take a step back and just look at look at the monster you've created. Gives you a fresh perspective on it. Sometimes when you're up super close to the canvas, it's really hard to tell, get a feel for how it's really looking. But that's okay. Coming along. And I don't think I'm going to go for too much longer tonight. It has been a long day. I don't even know if I want to tackle fixing that hand yet tonight. I might postpone that for tomorrow. Yeah, just reading that regarding your comment, art lady. Yeah, sometimes a long commute can end up being a good thing for that sort of thing. Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole with fixing that hand tonight. I just started. I just started to, and I thought better of it. Then I'm gonna be here. I'll be here another 2 hours just fixing that stupid hand. So I'm gonna worry about that another time. Um, for right now, though, just to get this in somewhat of a shape, I'm just gonna tighten up this outline a little bit. Okay, we are going to call it for tonight. I'm going to return to this. Just messed that angle up there. Yeah, I'm going to return to this tomorrow. Not the live stream, though. We're going to call it for Art Autopsy tonight. Although, if you still have some art making energy left in you, you don't have to stop just because I'm stopping for the night. Keep going. And when you finish your piece or are you ready to show it off, email me at clintcarneycreates@gmail.com, and I'd love to see what you create. Um, just wanted to say thank you all for watching. We'll be back here in 2 weeks at 7 p.m. 2 Thursdays from today. And just to remind you, Uh, August 19th, I will be at the Mayflower Club for the Hyena Gallery Horror Market, and there'll be a lot of cool artists and special guests, so come check that out. It's a free event, and we'll see you next time. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Take care.